Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will discuss the remaining portion from the chapter Deep Water. As you know that already I had started explaining this chapter for everyone. So let me get started. But before I continue with the lines that I will discuss today, I like to just repeat maybe one or two paragraphs that I did previously with you all. So, as you know that William Douglas, he already appointed a personal trainer or a personal swimming instructor, as you can say, to help him learn with the swimming activities and all this. And slowly, with rigorous amount of training, with hard labor, with dedication and discipline, he finally learned how to swim. So let me continue a bit. See, as you know that already that part has been explained to you. I'm just starting from this line. Next, it held me at the size of the pool and had me kick with my legs. For weeks, I did just that. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. Now, obviously, as I told you earlier, that the exercise of the legs are very, very important in case of swimming. And another important thing is that if a swimmer fail to exercise his or her legs, then he won't be able to swim. So at first, the his legs were he was trying his level best to use his legs, but at the very beginning, it was a bit difficult thing for him. But gradually, with a lot of exercise, with a lot of leg exercise, uh, the situation eased a bit, and finally he could command them. Them means his legs. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. So, with the passage of time, slowly and slowly, I became a swimmer. He built me a swimmer. And finally, all the aspects of my abilities and capabilities were been finally put in an integrated whole. And finally, he became a swimmer. In April, he said, and here I quote, "Now you can swim." Now this is a very important line. This is the final conclusion that was been given by the swimming instructor. Now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool, crawl stroke. Now this is the final verdict, and it's a very positive one because the swimming instructor finally told William that now you can swim. Maybe after 8 or 9 months, as I told you, the year has not been mentioned, few months are mentioned. So the swimming instructor told William that now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool, crawl stroke. That means now you are capable of swimming. You can swim the length of the pool, you can improvise a bit, you can crawl stroke, and you can do all the swimming exercises. Now you are capable, or you are a fit swimmer. Now this was the verdict. This was the green signal that was been given by the swimming instructor. I did. The instructor was finished. Now I performed all the activities. The instructor was finished actually means that the instructor was very, very happy with the proceedings, or rather to say, with the outcome of the events. But I was not finished. I still wondered if I would be terror stricken when I was alone in the pool. But the author, William Douglas, he was not satisfied. He wanted to do something more. He wanted to see whether really he is capable of swimming if he is all alone. Whether in a pool or in a sea, whether he is capable of all this. I tried it. I swam the length up and down. Tiny vestiges of the old terror would return. But important thing is that when he indulged in swimming all by himself, slight terror or slight fear used to preoccupy him. But he was capable of driving those fear away from his mind. So I repeat, tiny vestiges of the old terror would return. but now I could frown. Frown means obviously I am very irritated now with those terrors, and I can actually frown at them and say to that terror trying to scare me, well, here's to you, look, and go off. I would go for another length of the pool. Now, I already told you that terror and fear, these two things are being personified in this particular story. So it seems that the narrator, William, he sometimes used to have some conversation with fear or terror. Now, tiny vestiges means a part of the terror is to return back every time, or sometimes occasionally, or seldom we can say, when he used to swim, and he used to frown back. He used to arrogantly reply to that terror that you can't scare me. Scare means to frighten. You can't scare me any longer. And after that, he would go from one length of the pool, that means one part of the pool, to the other part. Now, obviously, sometimes he used to be scared, but that is for a time being. But considering the overall perspective, he became a successful swimmer, and he more or less drove the fear of terror from his mind. This went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. But William, he was not satisfied. He needed to confirm whether the fear or the terror related with hydrophobia, it has been driven out of his mind or not. He had to confirm himself regarding that. So I repeat, this went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. I was not sure that all the terror had left. So I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Triggs Island, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp Act Island. So he went to many places. He went to Lake Wentworth and he swam there also. In New Hampshire also, that is Lake Wentworth is located in New Hampshire. Then he went to Triggs Island. Even he went to Stamp Act Island also. There also he went on swimming in order to see whether he is now capable of swimming anywhere, and whether that fear of death is still in him or not. In order to see that one, or in order to test that one, he was very curious that whether the fear of hydrophobia had been driven out of his mind or not. So he went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire. Then obviously he went to Triggs Island. Then he went to Stamp Act Island also, and he performed swimming there, and he was satisfied. I swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. Now he performed all sort of swimming techniques like breaststroke, like backstroke, like crawl stroke. Only once did the terror return. When I was in the middle of the lake. When I was in the middle of the lake means when he was in the middle of the lake, once again, for a slight moment, the fear returned once again. I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. Now he put his face underwater and he saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned in miniature. That old sensation means the author William Douglas is talking about the old fear. The old fear returned in miniature means in small amount. Miniature is a term, dear students. It is related with small amount. I laughed and said, and here I quote, well, Mr. Terror, obviously as you know, fear and terror has been personified, as been told to you earlier. Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me? It fled and I swam on. So he drove that fear out of his mind totally. Tiny vestiges or in miniature or in small amount, the fear would return back. But he used to frown at those terror or that fearful moments. Momentarily those things would gather around him, but he drove those things successfully. And this quoted expression is very significant, dear students. Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me? You can't do anything to me. It fled It means the terror fled, and I swam on, and he went on swimming. So, dear students, I stop in this audio presentation. In my next audio presentation, I will continue with the final part of this particular story, or with the final part of this chapter. Thank you, students. Thank you all.